you feel like stopping. Up to you. Something that's really beautiful about this bowl, if you just take a second to listen to it when you ring it, how long it actually keeps going for if you actually stop to pay attention. And I do it one more time. Still going. It's still going. Today is all about resisting the temptation to rush. I'll call that good enough for now. I've been thinking a lot this week. Actually, I think a lot every week about this, but I've been thinking a lot this week about how short this time is. And how we can't control how much time we have, but we can control what we do with it. I asked Jessica to think about the song that she would want to play at her, well, you wouldn't be playing it, but the song that you would want played at your own memorial service. And this is it. You want to say anything else?
It feels weird that someday this will be playing at my memorial service. No, the reason I'm playing Shower the People You Love with Love by James Taylor, and the reason that I chose this is because when I was younger, my mom would have this playing all the time, and she would sing it, and it just has really good memories and what I try to convey to the world every day. Shower the people you love. You should record it. It's recording on the internet right now. You can play the game, you can act out the part, though you know it wasn't written for you. But tell me, how can you stand there with your broken heart, ashamed of playing the fool? Oh, one thing can lead to another, it doesn't take any sacrifice. Oh, father and mother, sister and brother, if it feels nice, don't think twice. Just shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna work out fine if you only will. Shower the people you love with love. I think it's true what they say about the squeaky wheel. Always get in the grease. Oh, shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna work out fine if you only will. Shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna be much better if you only will. Everyone, shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna work out fine if you only will. No one will play that better than I will, in my view. I'll show it. I'll show this clip.
Welcome, everyone, to this beautiful morning. This beautiful and glorious morning, the day that has been made for all of us, the day that the universe has given to us. Welcome to this place, the Universalist Unitarian Church of Halifax. I am Reverend Israel Buffardi. You see him for pronouns, and I'm the interim minister of this congregation. We are here so that we might have life and experience life, and so that we might share it with others, so that others might also have light, have life. We are less concerned here in this Unitarian Universalist congregation with what you believe, and much more concerned with how we shower each other with love in this one wild and precious life that we are given. So I welcome all of you here, whether this is your first or 500th time. No matter what you believe, no matter where you are from, no matter who you love or how you express or know gender and your body, how you express or understand the spectrum of sexuality and gender in your body, how you express and understand the spectrum of wisdom and truth in this world. You are welcome here. Welcome to explore what it means to lead lives filled with love and compassion and understanding. Before we enter into our service, we take a moment to acknowledge the truths of the land that we are gathered on, to acknowledge the lives that have inhabited this land and continue to, and the love that this land and its inhabitants have to teach us. Brian, we offer a land acknowledgement in that spirit this morning.
Thank you. This statement is adapted from one created by the United Way of Halifax. We are gathered today in Mi'kma'ki, the ancestral and unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq people. Acknowledging the Mi'kmaq ancestral territory is our way of showing respect for and honoring shared treaty relationship. To uphold our duties and responsibilities as treaty people, we at EUCH are committed to building relationships with Indigenous organizations and peoples in Kjipuktuk. We also acknowledge that Nova Scotia is home to over 50 African Nova Scotian communities whose culture, heritage, and histories have been and remain a key part of this province for more than 400 years. For generations, African Nova Scotians have experienced injustice due to systemic racism in Halifax and Nova Scotia, and still do today. As a community that is committed to social justice, we will listen to and learn from Black Nova Scotians and search for ways to address injustices in Nova Scotia and beyond. We acknowledge that the Mi'kmaq understanding of the importance of all our relations, that is, our relationship with all elements of the beautiful world we live in, fits with our 7th UU principle, respect for the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part. In keeping with this principle, we commit to do all that we can to stop climate change. We are committed to a lifelong journey of learning and working towards truth, reconciliation, and justice, and restoring our relationship with the world we are a part of.
We are committed. We are committed by our being here together to do those things. And it is our job by coming together to remind ourselves of those commitments. That's why we gather as a community, to remind ourselves of those things. So take some time now to greet the people that you are gathered here with, the people that you make these commitments with.
Hello, Eleanor.
Hey, everybody.
Hello, hello.
Morning,
Good to see everyone. Yeah, I missed about half of Jessica's song. It just kept cutting out on me entirely. I listened to it on YouTube. It was beautiful.
I think it was because Jessica kept turning her head.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Sounds like a bit of a crowd there today.
Yes, it does.
That's good. I go into town every single day of the week. Going in on Sunday is just like, got to be something. When you can do it on video like this, it's so convenient not to have to.
Yeah.
We will sing together. We will sing here together in gratitude for everything that brings us here. It's on the back of your order of service.
Ready? We are here together in this holy moment, and we're grateful for the winding road that brought us to this place. Again, we are here together in this holy moment, and we're grateful for the winding road that brought us to this place. You guys are getting good at that.
We bring light into our lives by our coming together as well. By our gathering in community, we draw attention to the light that is here. we focus our eyes on the beauty of the light that is all around us, and we take the time to stop and to notice. The brightness that shines even in our darkest moments. We take the time to appreciate the brightness of the light when it shines brightest so that we can carry it into those darkest moments. We are here. I ask often why we are here, why you are here. I'm not going to ask you this morning. I'm going to give you 2 reasons. We are here, like I said a minute ago, so that we might have life. You already have life, I know that. We are here so that we might have life, so that we might experience it and know it's there. Remember that it's here every day. To look around at everything that is going on around us in this life and to make sacred space of this moving through it. Not to just be pushed through it or pulled along or rushed through it, but to make sacred space and sacred time of this existence. So we are here so that we might have life, and so that life might speak to us. So this morning we sing to remind ourselves that life is speaking to us so that we might hear what it has to say. So that we might hear the music that the flowing water all around us is making. So that we might let the stars find their voice to speak to us. We are here so that we might have life, and we are also here so that we might help others to find it as well. So, creatures of the earth who are here this morning, join with me in body or in spirit by rising in body or in spirit to sing All Creatures of the Earth and Sky. Yeah, it's number 203. Thank you for the reminder. I decided, and I'm telling you now, Jessica,
That's okay.
that we're going to sing all 5 verses of this. Anyone who has already looked ahead and knows what the 5th verse is might not want to sing the 5th verse. I've decided not to be a lazy atheist this morning. And let me tell you why. We are here so that we might have life, so that we might experience life. The 5th verse is about so that we might walk or travel or be with others as they find life, as they experience life. And so if we have the ability to stop and listen to life and hear what it is having to say to us, then we realize that we have a responsibility to others. We have a responsibility to humility. We might let the holy, whatever that is for you, bless life. In humbleness, we do so. We remember that the holy, whatever that is move through you and must be, is it here?
Oh, there's water on the chair.
Oh. Let's sing. You do what you want with the word God.
All creatures of the earth and sky, understanding hearts, forgiving others, take your part. Alleluia, alleluia, let all things now the Holy bless, and worship God in humbleness. Alleluia, 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 alleluia. Yes, I did it a little faster. Gets to the point.
Does the roof need immediate patching?
I think we're good for a half hour.
All right.
I saved photographs of Troy. That's what I'm showing.
Okay.
I think the dishwasher is more pressing.
We are here. We are here to help each other plug up the holes when they need to be plugged up, to run and get the bucket when it needs to be run and got, to carry the bucket, and to delve deep into the source together. We are here because we need community. Simply put, we need each other. And we are here because we don't all come to community every day with the same things on our hearts. Some of us come here needing our leaks plugged up a little bit more, and some of us come here with joy. We share those things with each other because sharing our joys helps us see them reflected in the community and see them multiplied, and sharing our sorrows helps us to carry heavy burdens. This is our well of community. It's where we draw our sustenance and our strength. It's the warm waters that comfort and nourish us all. I invite you, if you carry a joy or a sorrow on your heart this morning, something that you wish to share in community, or something that maybe is neither joy nor sorrow, that is more complex truth that needs to be named, I invite you to share with us this morning so that we might have this life and all its complexities together. Is it?
Riley.
There you go.
Tuesday, April 4th, will mark the first anniversary of my crossing the border at Woodstock. I am settled, más o menos. My tax guy assures me I am not paying double taxes, so I am not bolting for the border. It's good to be here.
Mary Ellen, she's wanting to talk, I think.
Can you unmute her so she can talk?
You can start now, Mary Ellen.
We should be able to hear you. Try.
No, make her screen bigger.
Mary Ellen, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
We can hear you. If you'd like, please go ahead.
I'd like you to put a rock in for me or my sister-in-law, Sharon Arnold, who passed away peacefully yesterday. He was also my good friend.
I have one joy for this morning, and it is that we have two new people fresh from Afghanistan in our midst, and it's so nice that you're here.
Thank you. So it is a pleasure being here today with all of you, and I'm so delighted to meet some of you folks here. So I've been visiting Molly and her husband, and they're hosting my brother who recently could be rescued from Afghanistan. And then I'm very joyful, and I'm so happy I have a group of people here to share that joy, that he's very safe and he's doing very great. And I'm praying every day that he's going to find himself in a very new place with the old talent that he always had, and he can flourish those talents. Thank you very much.
Oh, no.
Israel, can you put a rock in for my boyfriend's a trucker, and he was almost very close to a tornado in Illinois, and which was very scary for me and him. So yeah, those are for my prayers for him.
So I guess the sorrow for me is that my OCD is really bad right now. So yeah.
I have a sorrow. I'll try not to cry too much. I cry to literally everything. So when it's actually something really sad, that's just, I will sob. But my brother's lifelong, sorry, his best friend died after a battle with his mental health. Sorry. I'm good. And it's been a really, really hard loss for a lot of people.
For all of those things that all of us carry. For memories and for loss. For the day-to-day struggles. for close calls, for being home, for coming home. For life. We give thanks for this community and for this well that we gather at today. And we take some time today in the silence and in the stillness to find the strength that carries us through.
And hi. I now invite Miranda and anyone who wants to join us upstairs in the program to come take a stone as we share our own joys and sorrows for the week. She's got a big one. And we'll take some of the well from our community to represent how you hold us.
I invite you to join in singing Find a Stillness. It's number 352. You can remain seated. This is unfamiliar and you want to just let the music surround you, that's okay too.
Find the stillness, hold us.
This is perfect timing, really. You can't, we can't, none of us can control how much time we have, really, no matter the circumstances. We can't control what we do with it, to an extent, of course. This week, for Christians, is Holy Week, and Friday is Good Friday, which celebrates, I use the word celebrates, which commemorates, which celebrates death, the death of Jesus, who for Christians is a person who came to bring knowledge and truth and understanding, but also for many is a person who came to bring salvation for people. And that happens in the story through death, only because of death. That's that story, that life comes from death, only because of death. That death is the thing that makes us realize the value of life on this earth. Whether you are an adherent to the specifics of that story is not important in this moment. But what is important is the greater lesson of life and death. That life and death are two sides of the same coin, so to speak. That without death, we may not truly know the value of life. That if all of us lived for eternity, what then would the value of life be? I asked you, Jessica, this week to, I'm going to put you on the spot, sorry, to think about what song you would sing at your memorial service. And the reason I think about that is because I have a document in my computer with instructions for my own memorial service, and I've had it for a long time. Maybe not everyone my age has that. Maybe some of you have that. Maybe some of you don't. But one of the things you said to me was that you didn't know, you hadn't thought about it yet. And do you remember why?
I didn't think about it because I was like, well, I'm not old enough.
Yeah.
I said that I was I'm gonna live a long life. I don't have to think about that yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope you do.
Well, thank you.
I hope you do.
Now I'm nervous.
I hope you do. And yet I have known for most of my life that not everyone does, of course. And maybe many of you know that not everyone does. There are so many things that happen. Unitarian Universalism, the reason I mentioned Good Friday is because we've often been, some people cynically say that Unitarian Universalism is a Easter faith without Good Friday. That's why I mentioned this. That we have a tendency to want to rush through to rebirth and renewal and the goodness without allowing ourselves to understand or to spend time with silence and stillness, to spend time in the tomb, so to speak. I have known almost like I said my whole life, this idea that that is not only the old who die, but it is this idea that life could end at any moment for anyone, really, for many reasons, is so true that it almost doesn't compute. It's not something we want to think about. And we ought not to spend all of our days thinking about it all the time. There's value in spending time thinking about the beauty of life and allowing ourselves to celebrate this life that we have with all of its joy. We can't control how much time we have, but we can control what we do with it. We can control how we allow ourselves to savor time and savor life. How we can be present to life. Okay, it's 2023. In 1996, I'm not going to tell you how old I was. In 1996, I was a young child. And I remember I got really into doing sit-ups at the time for some reason. I don't remember why. And I really wanted my dad to be excited about my ability to do sit-ups and my ability to do all these exercises and get healthy. And I was really excited and couldn't think of anything else in the moment. And all I wanted to do was just tell my dad about doing sit-ups and push-ups and pull-ups, and I don't even remember what else it was. And I remember one night in 1996, I wouldn't stop pestering my dad with trying to get him to do sit-ups. And I just wouldn't stay still. And I was just going through a list of all the different exercises that I could do. And my dad, all I remember is that he lost his temper with me because he just wanted to sit there that night out on the back deck and enjoy the evening with me. And all I wanted to do was talk about sit-ups, and I wouldn't sit still. And I remember him getting mad and walking away. And I didn't see him after that because he went to bed. And in fact, I never saw him again. That was the last interaction I had with my dad, as he died that night. And I remember from that moment regretting not stopping in that moment, in that beautiful evening, to enjoy that moment and to spend time with someone. I regret how truly spacious that moment could have been, rather than having a punctuated, unpleasant ending. Of course, that does not erase any of the happy memories that I have of my father. But it is a message that has stayed with me for a very a message that I've continued to reflect on throughout my life. That Pam reminded us of, I think, a week ago. That we must never hesitate or stop to tell the people that we love how much we love them, to shower them with love. To not rush through those moments we have with each other. We can't control how much time we have, but we can control what we do with it. I remember another story of my grandfather, my father's father, after my dad had died, and my grandfather had a heart attack. And I remember my grandfather was lying in the hospital, and I went to go visit him. And he usually wasn't he wasn't usually the most philosophical person that I knew. But I remember him lying in the hospital bed, reflecting. He was in his 80s at the time. And he was talking about life and how he felt like he spent his whole life. I don't know if I've told you this story before. How he spent his whole life kind of like on the ladder of trying to get to the next point. You know, when he was in school, he couldn't wait to be done with school, and then he couldn't wait till he was married, and he couldn't wait till he had hit this job or the next job, or he couldn't wait till the weekend, or he couldn't wait to go on vacation, or he couldn't wait till he retired. And then there he was, retired, long past retired, I guess at that point, lying in the hospital bed, wondering how much of that time he had left to spend wondering and waiting and rushing through to the next stage. I think I inherited some of those genes because I've spent a lot of my life, maybe some of you have experienced this, where you're always kind of thinking about what the next thing is. I have a hard time sitting still. Does anybody else have that problem? Like, I have a really hard time sitting still, not even just physically, but like in my mind. Sitting still and appreciating what is, savoring what is. This week, if any of you saw the newsletter that went out, the picture in the newsletter was me sitting in the art gallery here in Halifax with my daughter, and we were looking at a painting. There's a painting there that has a bench. I don't know if it's always there or if it's part of a rotating exhibit or not, but there's a painting there. It's a landscape and it's a mountain scene. It's really gorgeous. And we were just sitting on the bench staring at the painting. When I go to, I don't know if anyone else does this, when I go to art galleries, I look at the map and I have like a list of all the paintings, and my temptation is to like feel like I have to go and see every single painting in the art gallery. And in fact, I remember I used to, when I was in high school, on the odd occasion when I would skip school, I would either go to the library to read, to learn about lots of different things, or I would go to the art gallery to kind of like go through it and see every single thing in the art gallery. I always wanted to see everything. Like, I had to see everything. I think I somehow missed the point of going to the art gallery. And taking my daughter actually to the art gallery helped me understand this a bit. I wanted to get her to rush through the art gallery so we could see everything, so she could experience everything. And she had something different in mind. She didn't want to see everything. She wanted to see what was there. And what do I mean? Like, she wanted to see what was there rather than see everything. It's sort of painful for me to sit sometimes, but that moment that we had together, sitting and looking at that painting, lasted way longer than any 3-year-old should be able to sit and look at a painting. It's pretty incredible. Really incredible. And also really healing for me to have that moment with her. We were something together. So I've been thinking about how I will explain life and death to my 3-year-old. What the best metaphors I can use to explain the inevitability of death and the value of life viewed through the lens of how life informs our experience of death and vice versa. How we can't control how much time we have, but we can control what we do with it. And I've come up with this. So, I'm lactose intolerant, but I love ice cream. And my daughter really, really loves ice cream. And if I if I didn't stop her, she would just like want to have as many ice cream cones as she can. But we've been explaining to her that ice cream is a treat. something to be savored and enjoyed. And so I've been throwing around this idea in my mind that life is like an ice cream cone. Life is like an ice cream cone. I'm tempted to think that life is like an all-you-can-eat buffet. I sometimes wish that life were like an all-you-can-eat buffet. And maybe it is a buffet because there's lots of different experiences to choose and to be had. But it's definitely not an all-you-can-eat buffet. It's more like an ice cream cone. You only get one. You're only going to get one, right? I know you want more after dinner, or you want some after lunch and after dinner, but you're only going to get one. And you have to enjoy it while it lasts. Now, you have to really stop and enjoy it while it lasts. You have to slow down and enjoy it and savor it. If you're me, don't forget to take your Lactaid. Knowing that there are unpleasant side effects sometimes with life. It can produce gas or bloating. Don't forget to take the things in that need to be taken in that help us cope, that help us deal with the negative effects of life. Although it doesn't matter how much Lactaid I take, there's still some gas. By the way, that's a genetic disposition that I probably have given to you that you will develop when you get older. But enjoy the bloat-free ice cream now while you can. But there's something else too. Yeah, sometimes you don't always get the flavor you want. Sometimes you get what Mama and Papa got at the store. But you can still enjoy it. Understand the nuances of the flavor. Try something new. Try the flavor that we give you. And here's the other thing. Okay, so ice cream, I think, is much, much better eaten with other people than by yourself. Maybe even sharing an ice cream cone, let's say. Now that might mean you get a little bit less ice cream, possibly, or more. It might mean you get a little bit less ice cream, but you get the experience of sharing it and savoring it and discussing it with someone else, with talking about the nuances of flavors that you're sharing. Maybe even of combining the different flavors that you brought and seeing what new things could happen. The reason that I called today's service Slow Life, by the way, is not just to talk about the value of slowing down, but there's the slow food movement. How many of you have heard of that? The slow food movement, as opposed to fast food. So developed as an idea of slowing down and appreciating food that's produced by small producers in natural ways, in ways that are in relationship with the environment, and also that take into account the effects that growing and producing food has, not just on our ecosystem, but also on communities. That food is something to be experienced as part of a connected web that we eat because of other people sustaining us as well as the earth. And so life is like that too, of course. I don't have many specific memories of sitting on the couch by myself eating an entire pint of ice cream and hearing that spoon hit the bottom of the container. that thud that happens when you get to the bottom and you say, oh no, I've eaten this whole thing by myself and there's no more. I don't have many memories of that happening while I'm sitting alone in the dark at night, eating mindlessly. Although we've all done that at some point. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it necessarily, but I don't have many pointed, vivid memories of that. What I do have are some very vivid memories of my dad taking me and a group of kids from the neighborhood, putting us in the back of his van, right? So no seatbelts, no anything. Going in the back of the van and going down to the neighborhood to the ice cream shop that was a few minutes away, and us all getting together in the excitement of us all being in that van together to go get ice cream. I do have very vivid memories of that ice cream and sharing and eating that ice cream. My dad's favorite flavor was maple walnut. I remember that very distinctly, thinking it was disgusting when I was a kid. Why would you put nuts in ice cream? And so I think my dad understood that good food was something that had to be shared in good company. That the ice cream tasted better by sharing it with others, by experiencing the joy of sharing a treat with others. And I think it probably tasted sweeter because of that. And because we all slowed down together to enjoy it. And there's couple more reasons why life is like an ice cream cone. Sometimes when you're eating ice cream, it starts to melt, and you need someone to go and get you a napkin to help to clean up the mess. And you might feel tempted to eat the ice cream as quickly as possible before it melts. But that's what your dad is for, to lick up that ice cream as it's melting and to get you a napkin. The last thing I'll just say about this, life being like an ice cream cone, and also, which I think connects to slow food too for me. So it was at the 1904 St. Louis World's Fair, which is one of the, there are two potential stories for where ice cream first got put in a cone. An Italian actually had a patent for an ice cream cone in 1895, but that's in Europe, so that was in Europe, and there was no social media back then. So we're just going to say that it was invented at the 1904 World's Fair in St. Louis. And it was, in a way, because they had no idea about the 1895 patent over in Italy. But it was actually a Syrian immigrant at the 1904 World's Fair in St. Louis who was there, who was making a certain type of waffle pastry, kind of like a waffle cookie. And there was another vendor selling ice cream. So they weren't the same. And the vendor selling ice cream ran out of bowls. And it was the ingenuity and the kindness of the Syrian man who said, "Wait a minute, I might have a solution for you," and offered his waffle cookie that he rolled into a cone shape to symbolize the cornucopia, or the abundance that is present, and suggested that they put ice cream for it, and it was like this immediate hit. And so life is like sharing an ice cream cone. Better shared together. Better the more people that we welcome at the table to share that ice cream cone with us. Better when we slow down to savor it. We cannot control how much ice cream we get all the time, but we can control how we slow down to savor it. Will you join me in singing? It is number 86. Number 86 is a song, but it's also a prayer. I'm gonna play the whole again.
Blessed Spirit of my life, give me strength through stress and strife. Help me live with dignity. Let me know serenity. Fill me with a vision. Clear my mind of fear and confusion. When my thoughts go restlessly, let peace find a home in me. Spirit of great mystery, hear the still small voice in me. Help me live my wordless creed as I comfort those in need. Fill me with compassion, clear my intuition. Then when life is done for me, let that be my legacy.
Take an offering today to support the work of this congregation. No one's worth and dignity here is measured by their contribute financially. Your worth here comes in so many ways. I have one announcement and Pam has one announcement. On April 13th, which is a Thursday in the evening, I'll be holding a sacred supper here, or a soulful supper. We'll have a meal together. We will sing and meditate and have some meaningful discussion. We will have some slow time together over a meal. Sorry? We should. That's a great idea. I'll make a vegetarian main course and some bread, and I'll invite anyone coming to bring sides that they want to share if they want to. If you want to come, please email me to RSVP, and if you want to help me with setup or cooking, let me know too. April 13th, it's a Thursday at 6 o'clock in the evening.
I'm smiling, not because I'm happy about the announcement. I'm smiling because I remembered that today is the Sunday before Easter. And my father spoke although he moved here when he was 20, he retained a lot of Graham and Ann sayings and accents. So today is Pam Sunday, just so you know. So I want you all to make me happy on Pam Sunday. Search committee. Thank you for the 2 people that have stepped forward and volunteered their time and talents. We can't run a search and do the work with only 2 people. It's essential work for this congregation. Please, please some people step forward and send me an email. I'm easy to find. Just president@uuch.ca if you don't have my other one. My other one works too. It's in the directory. You can call me. You can accost me at coffee hour, and I'll text myself to email you. But please, we need the people to do the work. And it's Pam Sunday, so make me happy.
Let's sing our closing song here together. Words are on your order, students.